Colombia 1, Uruguay 0. I think that my heart rate is still at 170 beats per minute, something around there. What a game. What a game. That was stressful. I didn't really have fun until the final whistle blew. And then, that feeling of euphoria absolutely poured over me. Guys, if you like videos about the Copa America, make sure you hit subscribe. We are going live for the final. All right, this Sunday, we're going to actually have a live stream. It's going to be Argentina and Connor versus me and Colombia. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be, probably rated R, I would have to say, at best, PG-13. It's going to be a bloodbath. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath, not just because Connor and I are going to try to kill each other, but because Argentina versus Colombia it's just straight Hollywood. And honestly, it's a final that the Copa America deserves. Or maybe the final that the Copa America deserved was this game today. You could say these were the two best teams in the tournament. You really could. You guys will have to excuse the setup today. It might look professional. I'm literally doing an Asian squat right now, recording this video. Like, my ankles hurt so bad. So if you see me just, occasionally tweak out in pain, that's why. I think there were a lot of takeaways from this game. I would love to know what you guys think the number one takeaway is. Down below in the comments, it helps the algorithm too, baby. I'd really appreciate it. Wow. Let me just start with Daniel Munoz. Daniel Munoz, who I think is still the right back of the tournament. I think he was my pre-Copa America best right back. I think now that we're in the final, he is still my right back of the tournament, but he is an absolute idiot. I mean, not only because he elbows Ugarte in the chest in the era of VAR. The man thinks that he's, back in Colombia, but also, during the 1970s. I don't know what he's thinking, completely loses his head. This is what I said about Daniel Munoz. He's one of the most passionate footballers I've ever seen. Sometimes it benefits him, and he gets a golazo, and the dude's just like an absolute freak up and down the field. And other times he's elbowing people in the sternum. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad, and it was really bad. And I thought before that he had a good performance. He almost had a goal. He almost had, would that be his third goal of the Copa America? I mean, the dude is on one. I mean, I know he's a Crystal Palace fans. Enjoy him as long as you can because he's not going to be there for much longer. I definitely think somebody's going to come and buy him. But he almost threw the damn game. You pelotudo. Or pendejo, I should probably say. What do they say in Colombia? Somebody let me know what they say in Colombia down below, please. Y'all know I'm trying to expand my Spanish. That was a disaster. 45th minute, he picks up a second yellow. I don't know if it was a straight red, but I believe he's suspended for the final. Either way, again, I'm going off the dome here, people. There's no notes. If he's not suspended, again, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure he's suspended, which means Santiago Arias is going to start. I don't think it's disastrous, but Daniel Munoz is one of the most important players for Colombia. He was an idiot in this game. He's out for the final. That's a shame for everybody that's going to tune into the Copa America who maybe hasn't been watching Colombia this entire time. So I got my Daniel Munoz piece out of the way. I think he's a very, very lucky boy. I mean, he needs to be saying 250 Hail Marys tonight before he goes to bed because he put his team through suffering, absolute suffering. Not only does he need to do the Hail Marys, but whatever restaurant the guys want to go to, I mean, you picking up the tab for the next month, baby. You really are because it was an idiotic decision. It's borderline a straight red, and he was already on a yellow card. That's what made it the worst. I'm moving to James Rodriguez. A lot of people, they have him as the player of the tournament, and I think it's difficult to argue against that, although I will in a moment here. Picked up his 6 assists. I think 5 are off set pieces. I mean, the dude is a freak. Now, here's the thing with James. His set piece delivery is absolute God mode. But I think the part of the puzzle that nobody's really giving enough credit to is the fact that Colombia are absolute savages. And on set pieces, they're trying to win every single one. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. I said this coming into the game, into the tournament even. Colombia are the most dangerous team on set pieces. They don't really concede a lot of set pieces, and they score a lot. And it doesn't matter if it's Uruguay, it doesn't matter if it's Brazil. It doesn't matter. These guys get up. And I think you got to give, let's even give James 60% of the credit. Let's give him 60% of the credit for Colombia being unguardable on set pieces. But then you got to give guys like John Cordoba, who absolute shout out, bro. If we want to talk about players who have increased their stock the most during this Copa America, if John Cordoba is not in your top 3, you're a hater. You're an absolute hater. Dude has been a freak. I thought even his hold-up play today when Colombia went down a man, and even before then, what a revelation. I never want to see Borre ever again for Colombia. I'm sorry. But James, he got a little risky with the referee, I thought. He was in his face. He was yelling at him. He picked up a yellow card and then was still in the ref's face after the Richard Rios injury fiasco, which lasted 10 minutes. And I was just waiting for somebody in Colombia to grab him away and say, "You moron, get away from the ref." I mean, I literally was in disbelief watching the TV. I was like, this guy's about to get 2 yellows for dissent. But outside of that, James Rodriguez, I still think he's one of the players of the tournament. No doubt top 2, although I think it's time to talk about Jefferson Lerma. I think it's time to talk about Jefferson Lerma for the player of the tournament. Got another goal today, his second for the tournament. The guy, the defensive work rate is something that Van Gogh could not even put on a canvas. He would have no idea how to paint what Jefferson Lerma does for the national team, and Shakespeare would have no idea how to write a play about it. I mean, he might have to end up writing a tragedy about how nobody knows how good Jefferson Lerma is. I really don't know what else this guy needs to do. Again, another Crystal Palace player, another Colombiano just balling out in the shadows. Absolute freak. Jefferson Lerma, take a bow. If he would have scored that one goal when Rochette was out of goal, just give him player of the tournament. Dude's an absolute freak. And Luis Diaz, oh my gosh, work rate was insane. Dude. He's the heart and soul of Colombia. Even on the bench, he looked like Ronaldo during Euro 2016, getting the troops ready for it. It was incredible. I promise I'm going to talk about Uruguay in this video. I know that, God, dude, oh my God. Oh, my Asian fraudness is getting exposed. My ankles hurt so bad. Let me see, is there anything else I want to say? You know what, Matthias Uribe? Holy hell. You know what, you're in contention with Daniel Munoz for the biggest loser in this game from Colombia, bro. Are you serious, dog? 2 chances, 2 one-on-runs with Rochette. One isn't even a save, brother. You just put it wide? Can you imagine if Uruguay had won this game? Uribe would have been left in the States. Or they would have thrown him out of a helicopter in the middle of the Amazon. I thought he was a very, very lucky boy. And finally, Néstor Lorenzo, bro, shout out. What a manager. What a job. 28 games unbeaten for Colombia. It's incredible what they've done. It's absolutely incredible. Now let's talk about Uruguay. Oh my God, my ankle. I gotta adjust. Oh my God. Okay, maybe I need to move the camera up a little bit. Oh my God. I'm probably suffering as much as the Colombians were in this game. Uruguay, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I think this is an L for Bielsa. I think it's an L for Bielsa, but not like a massive L because I actually think, oh my God, okay, we're coming back down. I actually think that his decision to start Rodrigo Bentancur was genius, and I think Uruguay were the better team to start the game, and we saw those Darwin Nunez misses. One came from Fede. I can't remember who gave him the other feed. You can't do anything about that if you're Bielsa. That's on Darwin, And then, of course, Bentancur unfortunately gets hurt very early on. He comes off, and I'm thinking, this is really good for Colombia. And I thought it was going to be a comfortable Colombia win until the Daniel Munoz red. We already talked about that. I think you cannot say Bielsa's a massive loser because if you look at how the team's set up, I think he did a great job. If you look at the chances created, what more do you want? Luis Suarez hitting the post. Arrascaeta can't keep the ball down. Darwin Nunez, he had 3 good misses. I mean, it's not Bielsa's fault that Mojica locked up Pelestri all game. It's not his fault for that. And Daniel Munoz was locking up Araujo, and then when Arias came in, he was still locking up Araujo. And his shots weren't so great either. So you can't look at Bielsa and be like, he bottled the game. He didn't bottle the game. But he has a reputation at stake here. And that reputation is one of the best managers. And that's a reputation of being this innovator. And that's a reputation of, Pep's inspiration, idol, whatever you want to call it. And yet, man, it's another tournament without a trophy. Now, they'll play Canada in the 3rd place game, and I expect them to win. But just from the Bielsa side of things, man, I think it's disappointing. And I'm going to say very disappointing and a little unlucky because, let's be honest, if Uruguay's on the other side of the bracket, they might have beat Argentina in the semis. That's a 50-50 game right now. But they're on the harder side of the bracket. They got to go through Brazil. They lose Nunez. They lose Araujo. They come in here limping a little bit. They go up against Colombia. And they bottled it in the sense that they couldn't score against 10 men for 45 minutes. That's how they bottled it. But Bielsa, it's interesting. Any Uruguayos, let me know what you think. Because some people online were saying that, very good tournament for Bielsa. Others were saying his man management squad selection was poor. And I'm kind of in between. I'm in between. I think he corrected most of his mistakes in this game, actually, against Colombia. But then Bentancur goes down, and then what can you do? You got to play on. What are you going to ask for the match to be rescheduled? Absolutely not. You know how much that bribe would have to be to CONMEBOL, to Dominguez, for him to push the game back? Uruguay don't have those funds. I mean, they probably do. I think they're pretty wealthy as a country. Anyways, doesn't matter. Darwin Nunez, massive loser from today. Maybe on par with Daniel Munoz. I'm still going to say Daniel Munoz the biggest loser because he's just an idiot. But Darwin Nunez, I mean, the chances that he was missing, you can't do it. And I'm very disappointed in him because he's been so good for Uruguay, right? And there's always been the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde with Darwin. Yeah, he's going to miss everything for Liverpool, but he's going to do you right when he's got the Uruguay kit on. Well, he didn't do you right. He did you wrong. He did you really, really wrong today. And that's disappointing. For me, that's disappointing. As a Darwin supporter, that's disappointing because now he's just going to get clowned. And he didn't have a terrible Copa America, but it was well below expectation. I mean, for Darwin, it's a 4 out of 10 Copa. It's a 4 out of 10 Copa. And this is a guy that was my Golden Boot prediction. And I think he got 2 goals in the end. Not enough. Easily should have had one today. Should have had one against Brazil. 2 stinkers in a row. I mean, he killed. He didn't even kill Panama. He had terrible misses. What am I saying? He was terrible. Oh, God. Oh, poor Darwin. Poor Darwin. Anything else I want to say about Uruguay? I don't know. Good luck to Canada playing them in the third-place game. I think that they're still a very, very good team, but they came up against Colombia, who are a top 5 team in the world right now. Yes. Yes, they are. They're a top 5 team in the world. If you don't think so, make an argument, or you're just a hater. And drop the address. I'm pulling up on you if you can't make an argument why. Otherwise, you're just hating. I'm in New York now, so where you want to meet? Don't do that to these boys anymore. These boys are hungry. Do you see what it meant to them at full time? They got the fans behind them. Luis Diaz is basically like a walking saint. He's like Peter, the apostle, or John. There's quite a few of those guys, aren't there? Yeah. Take your pick. Take your pick. The entire starting 11 are apostles. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like they're going on a spiritual journey. And the crazy part is, much like Spain, it could still end in massive defeat. I think Colombia have been the best team in the Copa America. I think Spain have been the best team at the Euro. And both of them could walk away on Sunday with nada, with silver medals. So, the job is far from done. Far from done. We're going to do a full preview for the Copa America final. Me and Connor will probably film that sometime. So if you want to see that, hit subscribe. It's obviously going to drop maybe tomorrow is when we'll try to do it. So I don't want to say anything on that now. Trust me, I have a lot to say, but I don't want to say anything now. I feel like my heart rate is finally dropping. I mean, I was stressed. Y'all should have seen me in the bar. I mean, the bartender was like, do I need to call an ambulance? And I was like, if Luis Suarez puts that shot away, yes, I would be on the floor, and you would need to call the paramedics. Thankfully, it went off the post. And I say thankfully because I am rooting for Colombia. I love what this team has done. 28 games unbeaten, and people, I feel like they're just now waking up. I feel like they've been so disrespected. I mean, they beat Spain. Oh, it was a friendly. Who cares? You know, they beat Brazil 2-0. Luis Diaz, he scored a header. They beat the U.S. 5-1. It was the substitutions. They're better against Brazil in the group stage, but they didn't win. They win 5-0 in the quarterfinals. Oh, it was Panama. But what are you going to say now? I'm looking at you, hater. I know your keyboard's ready. I know your Twitter finger's itching. What you going to say now? 10 men, 1-0 against Uruguay. By the way, I called the score. What you going to say now? I don't know. Like I said, it could all end up in dust, you know. The party, it's still too early. I know they're ready in Barranquilla. I know they're ready in Medellin, but the party cannot start yet. You got one more to go against the world champions, against the Copa America title holders, against what should be the best team in the world in Argentina. So you got 90 minutes to do it, and you're probably going to have to do it without Daniel Munoz, which is a big one. Hopefully Richard Rios comes back. Congratulations to Uruguay for making this far. I mean, we'll also do a prediction for the third place game in more depth. You know, I still think it's a good tournament for these guys, but no doubt disappointing. And again, congratulations. Vamos Colombia, bro. Like, today I felt Colombiano, man. And I'm probably going to feel Colombiano until they lift the trophy, God willing. That's the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed, smash the like button. Again, hit subscribe for the Copa America live streams for the final and the third place game, and then predictions for both. Dropping soon on the channel. Y'all are awesome, and I'll see y'all later.